Hello and welcome back to World 360. For nearly a decade, one South American country was ruled by a ruthless military regime, the kind that allegedly threw political prisoners out of airplanes. But it seems the men responsible for the atrocities during this period have been finally brought to justice. On Wednesday, a court in Argentina sentenced 19 former military officers, one of whom is a man in his 90s, to long prison sentences for crimes against humanity during the country's dirty war period. So what exactly was Argentina's dirty war period? During the 1970s and early 80s, Argentina, a country whose name is derived from the Latin word for silver, argentum, was ruled by the might of silver bullets and the power of the gun. In 1976, a right-wing military coup overthrew then-President Isabel Perón. It was widely assumed that her term would be short-lived, given the fact that she only assumed the presidency upon the death of her husband and populist president, Juan Perón. But none would have expected that the military regime who replaced her, especially one that would have US backing, would unleash the kind of violence that they did. The right-wing military junta, which was led by dictator Jorge Rafael Videla, who served as the de facto president of Argentina from 1976 to 1981. His government conducted what was known as the Dirty War, during which thousands of people were abducted, detained, and murdered, mainly those assumed to be communists or left-wing. Videla, who died in 2013, was later convicted of the theft of many babies born during the captivity of their mothers at illegal detention centers and passing them on for illegal adoption. In July 2010, at the age of 84, the former dictator had famously said, "I accept the responsibility as the highest military authority during the internal war. My subordinates followed my orders." It was estimated that between 13,000 to 30,000 political dissidents vanished during the coup. In 1995, a former commander of Argentina's Air Force revealed that he had drugged political prisoners and thrown them out of airplanes. Journalist Andrea Yariura Clark, who had fled Argentina amid the political turmoil of the 1970s, once wrote about how the Dirty War was preceded by political violence even when the previous president, Juan Perón, was in power. She explained that Juan Perón became Argentina's president in 1973 after 2 decades in exile, and during his tenure had quietly supported the Argentine Anti-Communist Alliance, or the AAA. Now, the AAA, formed in 1973, was essentially a state-run death squad that targeted leftist urban guerrillas, labor unions, activists, and left-leaning individuals. So it may be safe to say that Juan Perón sowed some pretty dangerous seeds during his tenure as well. But we cannot talk about Argentina's dirty war without mentioning the US. In recent years, it has been revealed that the US government not only had prior knowledge of the 1976 coup, but also corresponded with the coup plotters. For example, then US Ambassador to Argentina, Robert Hill, reportedly sent a cable ahead of the coup saying Argentine military officer Emilio E. Massera sought an opportunity to speak privately with him. Declassified US State Department documents later showed that during the Dirty War, the military junta used an American communications installation to share intelligence. Let's not forget that this was during the Cold War, when America was trying its best to quell communist sentiments in its backyard, even if it meant providing varying degrees of support to military regimes in the region. Thank you so much for watching. This is Pia Krishnankutty for ThePrint. Do subscribe to ThePrint and follow us on social media.